Hey, everybody. Episode 325, The Process. Stayed snugly warm last night because of my dietary habits. Goya beans. Oh, have you guys been following the Gabby petito case? Oh, man, that's interesting, huh? What a weird, wild ride. Murderins. I got some conspiracies to put down. You guys know about the zone of death in Idaho? That section of Yellowstone Park, which is almost impossible to find a jury of your peers because of where it's located. If you guys want to blow your mind, check out the zone of death in Idaho in Yellowstone Park. And there's some weird information coming out about this case. I watched the body cam footage. I've been kind of following along because I'm interested in true crime and stuff. And wow. Okay. So there's a lot of places in the United States and the world that just swallow people up. And Yellowstone Park / the zone of death is one of those locations where it is rugged wilderness. It's wild. And then there's state lines of 3 states in one national park. And so there's a section of Idaho, above Driggs and then below West Yellowstone, that's called the zone of death. It's a 50-mile strip that heads down the west side of Yellowstone Park. And I'm telling you what, people that commit murder out there have got a lot of options. Okay, it's rugged. A lot of people keep to themselves. You're out there for the peace and tranquility. There are boiling hot pots that can swallow a human body or anything in a matter of minutes. Somebody makes the wrong move in there and you're cooked. And then you got the wildlife that like to join in, the bears, the wolves. You'd be gone in a matter of minutes if you got in the right scenario. So I've been following this case, and one thing, I followed it before any of the information came out, and it was kind of interesting to hear the Utah newscasters and the newscasters cite the stuff about what they knew at the time. And then watch the body cam footage of the stop that these guys, the Gabby and her boyfriend had in Zion National Park in Utah. They got pulled over because they had some domestic dispute on the road in front of a cop. So they pulled them over, and you can see there's a lot to be learned there. And then another interesting fact that kind of blew my mind was a couple got brutally murdered and shot to death that were at the same grocery store around the exact same time as Gabby was there. And that's weird and interesting. What? They got shot to death and discovered half naked on their honeymoon or something. Check into that. And then the case kind of goes funky for me for a minute. They've been living in the van for 5 months. So getting DNA evidence or luminol readings off the inside of the van. Anybody that's been living in their van for 5 months, you put luminol in there and it's going to glow like a glow stick. Because they've been living in there. There's all kinds of fluids, and that would be a difficult one. Okay. But what gets me and what is strange is that they went to Yosemite allegedly and then cut back over to go up towards Yellowstone Park. That's strange. Okay, there is so much area between those 2 locations, or those 3 locations. Zion to Yosemite, and then Yosemite to Yellowstone. You're crossing the spots, the big spots. Okay, this is kind of a strange case. It's a very interesting and very strange case. Some information came out today about how people picking him up while he was hitchhiking in West Yellowstone. Yeah, I guess he was trying to make it from like West Yellowstone to Jackson Hole and jumped out before he got to the exit at the West Thumb. So that's right in the death. That's right in the zone of death. I mean, you're talking no cell service, no internet connection, not a lot of people. I mean, with the COVID and stuff that's going, it's not as busy as it normally would be. And you're talking about some of the most wild, rugged terrain, mountains, huge, nasty rivers, boiling hot geysers, lakes that are deep and cold. This is going to be an interesting case, with the information, and then how he returned home without her. I mean, I understand why he's pleading the fifth and lawyering up. I mean, anybody who, yeah, he what is he going to say? Like, if he did ditch her and just left her in the park and drove off, and then something happened to her and he freaked out because he's like, oh my God, she's missing. But we were honestly just having an argument. I just drove off. I was tired of it. I mean, she was looking at some serious heavy charges from the Utah cops. And she is very, very lucky those cops were feeling froggy that day, because Utah is known for just slapping down the books. She was looking at a heavy duty problem. So when that cop, which is a bonehead move, by the way, officers, there's one section of the body cam footage where the police are talking amongst themselves. There's a federal park cop, like a park ranger, not like the fishing game, but like the park rangers. And then the Utah Highway Patrol, they're having a conversation of what they should do about the situation and what their options are. I mean, they ended up getting this guy, I think his name's Brian Laundrie, a hotel room in Moab, and then left her in the van. It should have been the other way around. They should have let her get the hoodie and then made him take the van, because when they were like, can you drive the van, hun? She's kind of like, yeah, but I don't really. And she was already having mental issues from being stuck in the van with dude anyway. I mean, it takes a special group of people. You'd have to have your relationship stuff lined up pretty good to be living with each other for that long. Okay, and then another thing is a lot of these kids that come traveling around, they're all yogurt eating, granola making, backpacky people, but in reality they're not really ready for it, so they end up getting hungry and dehydrated. And one of the things that I noticed through the body cam footage is they're both dehydrated. And dehydration, once it sets in, you're in it good already. Before you notice when dehydration hits, you're in it already. And it takes a couple days to truly get out of dehydration. So they were both on a thread, which is going to push their emotional state to high hell. And then the heat of being in Zion and traveling and the stress. Another thing that's really weird for me is that there's not a lot on their social media spike. For being a travel YouTube page, there's one video on there. One video? For people that have been for 5 months traveling around? Wouldn't you think you'd have a stop every 5 minutes? I know I would if we were, YouTubing around and going to national parks and stuff, and who knows? But what I do know is it's awkward that there's only one video. I know that their TikTok and their Instagram and stuff were a little bit busier, but if you were doing a full channel, I mean, I know she said she had a lot of work to do, but anyway, this is an interesting case. And I mean, it's if he did end up taking her up into the zone of death on a nice day hike, got the camera out and was like, just back up a little bit, just back up a little bit, just back up. I mean, there's like new evidence came out today of some people that picked him up hitchhiking and said that he was coming from near the Snake River. And there's another perfect way to get rid of somebody. The Snake River is known for taking people. You know what I mean? I just lost family member to the river. So that river looks like it's going to be nice and easy and have a nice ride, but it's not. The undercurrents and the lava rocks that are underneath it, they'll suck you in under a mantle and hold you down for a year before you resurface again, depending on where you go and where you're at. Plus, some of those rivers, they cut through some parts of the United States that are not accessible. I mean, you either have to be a very, very serious kayaker / hiker / survivalist to even go through there. So, good luck. I hope that the family, as more stuff comes out and more people come out, hopefully there's some other people that picked him up hitchhiking. Very strange, very strange. Looks like we got ourselves another Chris Watts or Lori Daybell. Anyway, you guys have an awesome time. Make sure you check your canned goods. And you guys let me know what you think about this whole situation. It would be a perfect murder. All right, see ya.